Alright. Pre-stream shit. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna keep playing Opera Omnia while we wait. Because I'm waiting for Not Eng to come around. Oh, 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 fuck! I didn't realize I left myself unmuted on the other, on the window. Oh, that's fucking funny. Alright, I'm gonna record this to upload later, too. So that way people get the best quality for the upload, because it will require a lot of visual shit. Hopefully not, but... Alright, I'll have to pause the Opera Omnia for now. Hi! Hi. So I fixed my hair so that way the tracking will be a bit better. Haha. Oh, are we revealing the veil? Oh, well, too bad. Okay, so. Hi, Carby. I am actually a summoner main, but recently I've been playing a lot of Ninja and Dragoon and Reaper on my streams. I thought I would clarify that before we continued, because as somebody who's kind of not that big, I feel like you kind of need a little bit more context for me in case this video gets shared around. Which I highly recommend you do. Please, it gives me more views. It gives me... And it gets me more Carby emotes. Please, I am already commissioning Carby emotes on Twitch. Please subscribe. Please. Please. I'm not going to beg for subs. Is this the only time you're going to hear me say it? All right. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube after, obviously, twitch.tv/Carby, CARBYYYY, with like 7 Ys. I'm not going to say each one. It's for consistent branding across games. Hee hee. Alright, so I wanted to give that context because I played a lot of jobs in my time playing this game. And because of that, I know a lot about how they feel and how they play. In fact, let me show you. I do this shit. All of this shit right here. I do this within weeks of expansions releasing. I've done it since Stormblood. Okay, Stormblood I was a little slower, but I was on point with Shadowbringers, and this time I was even more on point. I got done very quickly. I got returning to my job and everything without any issue. And because of that, I like to play around with jobs right as they come out, because that's just how I am. I like to find out what I like. I'm also a collectathon player. That's part of the reason why. I'm a semi-completionist. I don't complete everything. But anyway, because of that, I want to start with I'm going to say, specifically I'm a summoner main, because I'm going to end with the casters. Oh, sorry about the burp. I'm going to start with my ninja here, because boy, do I have so little to say about ninja. We're just going to rant about every job and explain why, because that stupid developer post, why each of these sucks a little bit. Okay, not every single one sucks. I think that Dragoon's actually in a perfect place. We're not going to touch that one too much. But they seem to think that a lot of these jobs are either complete or don't suck ass. And that's kind of a problem, in my opinion. Because if they don't know what the problems are, how are they supposed to fix them? How are they supposed to fix them? And there's one reason why I'm saving Summoner for last. If you don't know, oh, I'm going to have a whole thing for that. I'm going to have to do a whole thing for that. Oh, that's going to be fun. Shut up. I just want to rant, okay? I see you there. Now subscribe to me. I know you got Twitch Prime. No, you don't. I'm joking. So let's start with Ninja here. All right, so Ninja, I'm just gonna. So I'm not gonna give the full rundown for every job because that would take forever, obviously. But Forked Raiju. You do Raiton, you get Forked Raiju. Or Fleeting Raiju, you get Raiju Ready, the buff. Honestly, that's the only thing I'd change. Everything else I think is fantastic right now. Why are you... What are you saying? What are you saying? I don't know what you mean by that. Anyway, there is one other thing. I mean, the only thing else I hate is that the trick attacks no longer buffs the party, but that's more for other jobs. Right now, as it is, I don't have a problem with its damage. I don't have a problem with anything. I just like Ninja. Except I think Raiju... Did you see the clip of cinnamon rolls? Oh god, fuck the cinnamon rolls. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, I don't think that... So, my one problem with Raiju Ready, the buff here, is that if you do anything other than a Mudra or Bunshin, whatever, it removes it. My only problem is that it just makes it really hard for uptime reasons, because sometimes, or it makes it hard for other reasons. Like sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you need to do Throwing Dagger. All I do really is just make it so that Throwing Dagger doesn't cancel it. That's fun. That's all. I don't have much to say about Monk. In fact, I don't really have anything except its leveling is really nice. So I'm gonna just skip that. Reaper. Honestly, just needs more damage. Although I do like my new glam. Hee. Totally not because it's got dragon toes. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm just blazing through the melees because I don't really have much to say about the melees. I want to get them out fast. Dragoon. Only thing I dislike currently is Wormwind Thrust. I don't know how they change it, so I can't really provide any criticism there. Well, I also think that Dragonfire and Spine Shatter should be the same button. But a lot of people disagree with me for that for some reason, even though, and people are like, "Oh, it's like more powerful or whatever." It's just like barely, fucking barely. Come on. It wouldn't be overpowered if you did that. Come on. I thought you said you were gonna stop playing. I can show you. Reaper's not that hard actually. It's one of the easiest DPS in the game, in my opinion. In my opinion, keep in mind, everything I'm about to say, everything I'm saying is in my opinion. Okay, that's what I thought you said. Like I said, you do you. Only thing I have to say about Samurai, this job was perfect. I actually love. I couldn't think of anything more perfect except maybe making Shoha and Shoha 2 the same skill. I don't know why they. Come on! You could have just done that, and maybe even make Gurren and Sene the same button. But no, they got rid of Gaiten, which honestly is what made it perfect. Now it's like sub-perfect. I think the critting is nice and all, but it's just whatever. All right. Honestly, there's enough people who play tank. I can stop talking about this. Only thing I have to say about Gunbreaker is this should be draw. This should be draw. Why is it not draw? Why is it Bloodfest? Why is it Bloodfest when this is Bloodfest animation? Double Down is Bloodfest animation. What the why would you do that? Why would you do that? Come on. It makes no sense to me. All right, the healers. White Mage is fine. It has been since Stormblood, in my opinion. I don't think it really needs much additions. Scholar? Give me more fucking dots. Give me more fucking damage options. Scholar has like the least amount of damage options. Also, I think Chain Strat should hidden in AoE, but that's just me. Other than that, I actually think that the most recent kit is actually pretty good. I really like a lot of people. I really like Expedient. Like, look at this. Just I'm sprinting without pressing sprint. Hee hee, hee 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 hee. Everybody saw this and was like, "It's so stupid," and then everybody's like, "Wait, it's the best skill in the fucking healer kits." Seriously, come on, that's so good. It's so fucking good. Oh. Also, deployment tactics should deploy something else. I don't know what else, but it feels weird that it's only just galvanized to me. Maybe that's just me. Sage. I need to play Sage more before I can make any judgments. I've been like not really playing it. I don't really have much to say about healers anymore because I don't play healers as often as I used to. People would hate me for this, but I think Macrocosmos needs a fucking nerf. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. I think it should be 45% of damage taken is compiled. I think that would make it so it doesn't fucking like break mechanics. But that's just me. Also, look at this glamour. No, I think it's fine. I think they have it pretty good. Honestly, I'd say that I like it very much. Maybe that's just me though. That's personal preference. I know. Honestly, we're just burning through the ones that I don't care about because the next 6 we're going to spend a lot of time on. We're going to spend a lot of time on. Because while Astro here is going to get a rework, and I'm not really fond of it, but it keeps getting reworks. It's just never going to find a place where they like. By the way, I just wanted to point out, I got a new monitor. Now I can see like the individual tiny little particles on this. That's actually really cool. I love this. Also, do you like my kettle? It's gonna constantly be making noise throughout this entire fucking video. Once I finally done uploading it. So, let's start with Bard, because we're going to do the Fizz range. And we're going to talk about these. We have to talk about Machinist last, because it's gonna make me really upset. Regardless of what happens, it's going to make me really upset. So yeah, now Bard can be hit by their own buffs and all of that. Peloton. But what, like, at this point, what's the use of repelling shot? I guess it sometimes comes in handy, but until Machinist gets something, I feel like it's kind of useless. I don't know. Ironshaws. So, Radiant Finale, I don't think this will be this expansion thing, but I think there should be like an out of combat buff where you can like give yourself a full Radiant Finale at the beginning of a fight. But at the same time, because you don't have Apex Arrow full, I'm okay with it not. Unless they give you something to fill Apex Arrow right at the beginning, I don't really see the reason to. Because look, you start your song and an Apex Arrow starts filling. Like, watch. Yeah. So I'm kind of like indifferent on whether I want it to or I'm divided on whether I would like Radiant Finale to be full right at the beginning or not. But one thing's for sure, I do not understand their change to Mage's Ballad. I absolutely do not. Like, why is it half? Would making it a full one be too powerful? And because they're moving away from dots, it just feels like the dots are kind of just tagged on. But the one thing I absolutely do not want them to do with Bard is remove those fucking dots. Every class is becoming a dotless job, and it's starting to annoy me. We need more jobs with dots. It's freaking annoying that one of the jobs that was the most fun, because you're managing these dots back and forth, is just gone. Yes, I will talk about that because a lot of people really pissed me off back when this shit was going on. But anyway, I'm gonna try and keep that opinion to myself. I think that Mage's Ballad needs to be a bit buff or something, or maybe buff fucking Wanderer's Minuet for AoE, one of the two. Because right now it's kind of just awkward doing Bard in dungeons, and I used to love Bard in dungeons. It was one of my favorite jobs to take into dungeons. Now it's just fine, I guess. And I'm not really a fan of how things just don't interact with the dots anymore. Or how they don't interact with crit. It just feels weird. I don't know how to put it other than that. I mean, other than that, I actually quite like some of the new tools I got. I mean, like, Radiant Finale is amazing. Layden's Pipe being different from fucking whatever it is a fucking amazing animation, and I don't miss the at all. Oh yeah, Barrage should grant Shadow Bite, or Shadow Bite should be shared with, or it should grant it should grant Shadow Bites as well. And they should just share a fucking buff. It should be like buffed shot ready or something. I don't know. It just feels weird that it's not. Also, last expansion, I never noticed this, but this is the range are the only of the DPS, of the physical DPS that do not have a stun. And I find that a little odd, Maybe that's just me. I mean, White Mage has a fucking stun. Why doesn't Bard? Why don't Bard and Machinist? They used to. I think it was Leg Graze? No, it was Foot Graze? No, Foot Graze is bind. Head Graze? No, Head Graze was silent. I think that's gone too, isn't it? Actions and traits. Yeah, Head Graze was silent. It's still here. Why is it not on? Oh, it is on my hotbar. Yeah, so it was like it was a graze of some sort. I think it was like arm graze, something like that. It's like, why didn't it have one? Because it made searching combos for 8S for EHS last expansion impossible. Okay, well, not impossible, just it required some weird layouts. That's really it. It was just weird that it took us way too long to realize. It's just, it feels weird. That's all. That's the best I can put it. Is there anything else I want to mention? I can't really think of much. Is there somebody? I could have sworn I just heard somebody get. I need to pee. I'm gonna be right back. Then we'll continue talking with Dancer next. Oh my god, what are you two doing? My cats are climbing all over my desk while I went to use the restroom. Well, while one of them was screaming, the other two decided, I'm gonna get up on the desk. I am not gonna edit that out. I'm too lazy. Let's be honest. Okay, so talked about Bard. We still got an hour. Oh dear God, not machinist, dancer. Okay. Okay, where to fucking start? Where to start? I have so many problems with Dancer. And it's not even from a damage perspective. From a damage perspective, it's doing gangbusters. You don't need Dancer to do better. The problem is, from a gameplay perspective, everything sucks. Okay, so let's start with this. Fucking Tiana, I see double L. I pronounce with like yeah. And look, it's not bad that it gives you basically a standard step, but just it's just that something feels wrong about how it plays when you do that. But yeah, it just feels weird to have another step to a very long action that doesn't give much damage in return for the number of GCDs it takes up. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not. It does plenty of damage. It just feels weird. It does not feel right. I do not like the change. Okay, I also do not like the change to the buffs. I absolutely think that having Rising Windmill and Blade Shower not a part of your normal rotation feels weird. It feels absolutely bizarre to me. It's just like, it makes the job very, very, very easy. It just makes it way too easy. It just becomes this. It's not fun. It's not engaging, in my opinion. And from my understanding, skill speed isn't even that great for Dancer. If it were, this would be okay. But it's not. And that's not even getting into Starfall Dance. See, my biggest problem with Dancer is how you earn how you get all of these skills in your rotation. If they were earned normally, this would be fine. But you have to do technical step, and then then you have to use Flourish to get Fan Dance 4, which you can only get after doing Flourish, by the way. And Starfall Dance you can only get after doing Devilment, which makes for what I remember reading was a very weird rotation. Nothing really made sense to me. I don't know. But the biggest thing I think that really shoots Dancer in the foot is the fact that they removed 60-second buffs. If they had kept the 60-second buffs, this would be fine. Because every 60 seconds, you would at least be able to unleash your fans, because that's what you're supposed to do. But because of that, for 2 minutes, you're just doing this. and maybe occasionally throwing in a fucking Starfall dance or a standard step. There's not really much else to say. I don't really know what else there would be, because just imagine this for 2 fucking minutes. I'm not going to do my actual rotation and give it a shot because I don't enjoy Dancer as much as I used to. Dancer was one of my favorite DPS last expansion. Now, it's arguably my least favorite. I say arguably just because of how fucking boring it is. I'd rather play a job that frustrates me and is hard to play that I don't understand, Monk, than this. And the worst part is, to me, this does, in theory, more DPS than Bard. And the reason why this pisses me off is, apparently, the reason why they did this is because the physical range are movement, and Dancer is, like, extremely... And the physical range are all super mobile or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. If that's the case, why isn't Dancer the lowest of the 3 physical range? Because En Avant should immediately make Dancer the weakest. And like I said, without even like being able to go in I'd actually say the 45 seconds actually made it a little bit more engaging because you actually had to plan shit out and stuff, but now it's 60 seconds, so oh wow, that's cool. Just so many things about this, just I don't know what to say other than what I've already said. It just, everything feels wrong. I will say though, if we're going to talk about good things, this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Whoever decided that improvisation should have that, the healing and all of that, and the barrier, kudos to you, Jesus Christ. And on top of that, Dancer has the most support of any of these, and yet it does the least damage. No, it does the most damage, which seems counter to the design that we've been told is the case. It's reliant on its own damage, on others' damage, but it also does like a shit ton of damage itself right now. Back in Stormblood, back in Shadowbringers, I actually thought they nailed the balance almost. It was a little lower in the damage, but you could get some serious output in terms of everybody fucking else. It was ridiculous. I thought they nailed it. But apparently they thought, nope, we're going to make it worse. I know lots of people were like, well, I don't really like getting in melee because I'm a ranged. Just like, well, that's kind of what made it cool, because you were a dancer. You were dancing in and out of melee, doing completely bizarre shit. Like, all of that screams that Dancer should be lower, but it's highest? I don't get it. Why would they do this? What part of this made sense in their eyes? I guess the only good thing is that I guess there's another good thing. With the increase in with the fact that now you gain Esper Gauge on a very consistent timing, it makes it a little bit more fun. I will admit, it makes Saber Dance a little bit more fun. I don't like it any more than I used to, but I think it makes more sense now for what it is. That's about it. What is this? What is this? It's just the Shadowbringers one, but like with Chainsaw, I've done the rotation. Don't start telling me how to play rotation, but there's so many things that are wrong here that you don't notice until you start playing it. The Queen Automata is all where these issues come from, in my opinion. Every single thing that is wrong with Machinist right now, other than damage, is either Flamethrower or Queen Automata. And there is no way to gain battery AoE outside of Air Anchor and Chainsaw. And even then, that's not really that great. I think Drill or Bioblaster should give you 10 gauge. 10 battery gauge. I think that's the best way I can put it. Just, it should do that. And if not, they should have a button that gives you at least 50 gauge. Every other job that has a gauge like this has an ability like this. Reaper has Plentiful Harvest. You get your stacks from Arcane Circle, you do Plentiful Harvest, you get Enshroud. Red Mage has Manification. You hit Manification, it gets set to 50, you can do your melee combo. Do I need to say it more? Why can't it have that fucking... Why can't it have that? That makes no sense. Also, I just wanted to point out, in my opinion, Chainsaw does not feel good. I'm not saying it's a bad skill. I just think it doesn't feel that great. I think it could be better. I think it could be better. However, I think the biggest thing that we have to talk about is Automaton Queen and AoE. It does not do AoE. And they took away Bishop Auto Turret, which used to do AoE. So, why is it that if we go to the action and traits, we see Automaton Queen, but then... Oh, right, yeah, there we go. That's cool. We can see that it started as Rook Auto Turret. Why don't they give us back Bishop Auto Turret and have like an Automaton King or something, you know? Something that does a fucking AoE. One that does or whatever. Or make it so that Automaton Queen does an AoE. Make it so that you gain more on AoE, more battery on AoE, making it more viable. Making Queen Automaton more viable in AoE. Otherwise, it's not as fun. And most of all, I don't even need to be targeting this for this. Flamethrower. I love this skill. I think animation-wise, this is one of the best-looking skills in the game. I've thought that since they introduced it. I guarantee you, if they don't remove it soon, they will. But I hope they fucking don't, and instead they give it a buff of some sort. Because as it stands, it is very situational. The chance of you actually needing to use Flamethrower, even in AoE right now, is so minimal, it might as well not exist. And finally, I think we should get to the one thing that every person seems to believe. That is fucking crazy. There are a bunch of people who are crazy who say Machinist is fine where it is right now. Okay, I could understand that from a gameplay perspective. That makes sense. I may not like the changes, that's fine. But I've heard that once you get used to it, the rotation actually feels really nice and it makes it feel like you actually have to fucking think. Okay, sure. I'll buy that. Kinda wish they got rid of the fucking recasts being affected by skill speed for specifically machinists, because there's certain jobs where this actually could be a benefit. We'll talk about one of them in a second. Oh yeah, by the way, one of the ones that where it's not is Gunbreaker. Can we stop that shit, please? Thank you. But here's the thing. Machinist damage is too fucking low. I'm not saying it's unplayable and you can't clear content with it. No, you can. People have cleared DSR with it. That's fine. But there seems to be this opinion that everybody fucking says that makes no goddamn sense to me. And I can't understand why. Because whenever I ask, I always get the weirdest explanations that make no goddamn sense. Machinist damage can't be better because it would be broken, or everybody would play it. Since fucking when? Machinist is already one of the least popular jobs. So what you're saying is it's fine because it doesn't do as much damage as Bard or Dancer because it would be broken if it wasn't. No. That's not how this fucking works. It doesn't provide anything, so it should do more damage than them. More damage. Not even a lot, just a little bit. Just so that way it is in line with them. And the thing that makes me so pissed about this, the thing that makes it so frustrating, is that apparently the popular streamer Momo has gone on record saying that this is the case, that Machinist would be broken. No offense to Momo. Absolutely none. He's a great guy, knows a lot about healers, and I think physical range, I don't know. I've not played it. However, I read that whole tweet rant. Not once does he explain why it would be broken. I just want to ask. Black Mage and Samurai are frequently in the top runnings right now, and in Shadowbringers they were too. Why aren't they broken? Comparing them to the rest of the cast of DPS, why aren't they broken when they're in the top ones? Let me pull it up 1 second. I'm not going to actually show this, but you can probably go find it yourself on the certain website that I'm not going to list just because I'm too small. I don't know how this would affect me. I don't want to take any risks right now. So, statistics. Yes. Samurai is right below Monk. That makes sense. Ninja is right below Samurai. Okay, sure. Black Mage is right below Dragoon. And some of the higher players have outdone Dragoon. I'll get to Reaper's damage could be more, and that's really all I have to say about that. It doesn't even need to be a lot. It just needs to be a little bit just to put it in line with the rest. But Black Mage specifically is significantly stronger than Summoner and Red Mage. Significantly. Black Mage is not considered broken. Nowhere does anybody say that Black Mage is broken. And people are like, oh, but it doesn't provide much utility because whereas the others do. Well, do you know what else provides a lot of utility? Red Mage. Red Mage provides Magic Barrier. It provides arrays. It provides some movement. It provides plenty of options for in case you have a melee who's out of thing. You also have a Veracure in case the fucking healers die. And you need to keep the tank up for a bit. Just for a bit. Not like a lot. Obviously, it's not going to replace the healers entirely. You can't do that. It has plenty of utility. Why are we okay with Black Mage doing that much better than the others? Summoner gets like one utility spell that the others don't. Okay, two if you count the raise. What makes it okay for Machinist to be as behind as the others? No, behind the others. When it's okay for Samurai and Black Mage to be that significantly higher than the rest. Yes, I know people will say like, oh, but Monk's doing better. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm not disputing that. I'm disputing the argument of Machinist being lower than Bard and Dancer being broken if they buffed it. If somebody can explain to me in words that do not include how Machinist can move all over the field without restrictions, because obviously that is not the case. We are not talking about that, because if that were the case, Dancer should be a lot lower. And there's a few other things, obviously. I remember the Momo tweet. Let me see if I can find it. There was one specific part of the Momo tweet that got me. Let me It has the most flexible rotation. No, it doesn't. Oh, she's talking about that. He's talking about Dancer. Never mind. Where is it? Come on. It needs to be the best defensive utility out of his range because the damage will never be as good as Bardic Dancer. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find it, but he basically says something about, like, being like, oh, it's the current way the things are currently whatever. And I'm just like, well, yeah, sure. But, like, that's kind of like a non-argument. Yeah, if we are balancing around the meta as it is now. But we're not. We're balancing around how it feels to play and how it feels to do a lot less damage than everybody else. It will never be a meta job. We're not trying to argue that. Now, if we're arguing about whether or not Square would actually balance it correctly, that is a different question, and the answer is likely no. I don't think they understand what the job is supposed to be, and I don't think they have since they changed it in Stormblood. I genuinely do not think they know what the fuck they're doing with this job. I think this job has been just kind of in limbo since. Speaking of, let's move to the casters. Black Mage is always perfect. I never know what to add or talk about with Black Mage. So, plus, I suck at Black Mage. You don't want to see me play Black Mage. You absolutely do not want to ever see me play Black Mage. Black Mage mains would look at me and be like, how the fuck are you this bad at this job? I'd look at him like, I don't know, I'm good at everything fucking else in this game except this job. I could practice rotation forever and I still wouldn't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why Black Mage is so hard for me to understand. But all of its new utilities are very fun. I enjoy it when I do play it. So, and that's how it always has been. Well, except for Heavensward. Fuck Heavensward Black Mage. I just didn't get it. Red Mage, the lowest DPS job in the expansion. Or the lowest DPS magic range in the expansion. Where to begin? Where to begin? So, I love all of Red Mage's changes this expansion. I still think engagement is a stupid ability. I think it should be something separate from displacement. I think displacement should be optional, and it shouldn't do damage. But that's my opinion, obviously. What is engagement? I've never looked at this. Even with my better monitor, I still have no fucking clue what that is. I love Magic Barrier. Magic Barrier is amazing. I love the acceleration change. It is phenomenal. The fact that Embolden doesn't drop off is amazing! What more do I have to say about what's good about it? Red Mage has gone from being arguably my least favorite caster to being, if it is my least favorite caster, it's just by a narrow margin. Because it will always be in my heart somewhere. I love Red Mage. Red Mage is one of my favorite jobs in the entire series. It's genuinely a very versatile job, and it always has been. And the fact that they were able to translate that, whatever. Also, the AoE is pretty decent now, and I love that you can do Molinet into your Ver Flare, Ver Fire, and your Scorch, and Resolution. Yeah, Resolution. All of that is phenomenal. I love it. But I am of the opinion And I know I'm alone on this, so I'm fine with it being wrong on this. And people find my video, leave comments saying, hey, you know, I disagree with your Red Mage opinion. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Also, Reprise needs a rework, I think. Just a full-on rework. I don't know how else. I think it should cost gauge. I think it should activate if you have at least 5 gauge, but it shouldn't cost any. That's my opinion. Anyway. I am of the opinion that prog utility, like raises, shouldn't count against damage. It's the casting of those that should count against damage. And I know a lot of people say, well it does. I'm like, well, not really. They not only take it out of the damage that you do, but also when you cast it, you lose the damage. That's what I mean. No, don't remove it from our damage. Just remove the raise amount from the damage. I mean, if Red Mage did more and it had to raise, it would lose more damage than it does now in theory. I'm technically. That being said, if you want to make it so that Magic Barrier or whatever does take out of damage, I wouldn't argue with that. I understand why, but I still think that's a little dumb, but I wouldn't be upset with that. Veracure, I don't think should count against damage. If you're having to stop to Veracure, no. That shouldn't count against you. That shouldn't count against you unless you actually have to. Because the chance of actually needing to Veracure is very low. I don't think it's possible. But this is another one of those things where I just do not get why the damage is so low. This should not be as low as it is. I think, and when we get to the end of Summoner, we'll explain why this is terrible for both of these classes. Because with Machinist, Bard, and Dancer, they're all kind of close enough that you could make an argument there. By the way, I'm going to stop about 15 minutes before raid, so that way I can get some water. All this talking has caused my tongue to go dry. But finally, since I don't really have much else to say about Red Mage, other than please just up its fucking damage. Like, seriously, Jesus Christ. Right now, I think that this is better than Shadowbringers Red Mage by a long shot for so many fucking reasons. But please, fix some of those issues that I've already mentioned, like the damage. I'm going to keep going on about the damage. Now, I don't usually talk about damage. I usually only talk about gameplay feel because that's what I like to look at when it comes to how I play, as to whether I play a class or not, because that's just how I am. I focus more on the gameplay side. And a lot of people would probably dislike a lot of the changes that I would make just because of how they feel. And that's fine. Not everybody's going to agree. By the way, as a quick side note, I think Starfall Dance, or whatever it is, on Dancer should be an off global. That's just my opinion. Summoner. I love this Summoner so much. But it's also an atrocious piece of design. There's so many things wrong here. Okay, first off, I'm just gonna idle at my gauge drains. That way I have my gems to show off something here in a bit. Summoner is not in a good place at all. There's so many reasons why it is not. And I cannot get over this. First off, you'll probably notice, let me move myself really quick. Probably notice if you look down there. Let me see if I can get my avatar to look. No, it's not going to. If you look down where my mouse cursor is right now, you probably notice I macroed Astral Flow, but it's called Rekindle macro. Why is that? Well, that's because Rekindle, when you do Phoenix, you cannot macro that because it is considered Astral Flow as the only way of casting it because you cannot assign Rekindle to a hotbar. This is a workaround. This is a workaround I have found. Because this is the only way to actually get this to work. Is to macro Astral Flow and only use it when Rekindle is up. Now, why would you macro Rekindle? I'm not of the type who likes to use macros that are target of target or target of whatever or have certain things. I like to actually click on the party list. Maybe that's because of an old holdover from my time as a healer. But the thing is, this is part of what makes this version of Summoner so fucking garbage. Oh my god. Astral Flow should not be all 5 skills that it is right now. Astral Flow is the blessing from all 3 of these. Summon Phoenix, and as you saw earlier, it is Death Flare. This is a stupid design. This is a very stupid design for so many fucking reasons. First off, nobody's going to notice that you put Rekindle on somebody. That's why I've macroed it, just to say, hey, I'm doing this to help you out a bit. I know it's a little bit of it, whatever, but it's more for my healers, because my healers require a lot of whatever. And to get in the habit, I've used it a lot in my PFs and DFs. But it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that I have to macro Astral Flow to do that. That is so stupid. That is so fucking stupid. And if you see, and we're about to get into why Astral Flow sucks even more. Because if you've seen my times when I'm raiding on an Uwu, you'll probably notice that I use a different gear set from my normal one. My normal one, I try to avoid skill speed at all. I'm going to be missing some gear, but as you'll probably notice, I put a lot of fucking spell speed on my gear here. Do you see this? Do you fucking see this spell speed? The reason why is because it actually benefits Summoner before they get Astral Flow. Before they get the Astral Flow abilities from Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. The reason why is because you can actually squeeze in and out of things. It makes it so that you have certain fights that make it a little bit more flexible. And because it also means that Ifrit, you can move a bit more during. But most of all, it changes the recast time on Summon Phoenix and Summon Bahamut, as you can see in the bottom right corner there. The recast there is not 60 seconds, like it's supposed to be if you have no skill speed. Which means in fights like Uwu, it actually is a benefit because it closes the gap and means that you're doing less Ruin 3s. Here, it's not really worth it. All it really does is it means that you have less flexibility because you're going to be clipping them in and out. However, there's a few things I want to point out. First off, these phases are long. Second, there's no dots, so there's nothing to do other than whatever the fuck pops up here in Gemshine and Precious Brilliance. So, other than Energy Drain and Fester. Well, and or Pain Flare. And that's not much. That is absolutely not much. And the reason why this is a problem... Here, let me show you. So, let's say I summon Garuda. I have her blessing. I do all of my rights. Uh-oh, the boss is going to get away in a bit. Or he's going to move. If I do Slipstream when it's not buffed, it's not worth it. It is more damage than Ifrit, but if it gets moved while it's not buffed, it's not worth the damage loss, technically. Because it's not going to do much, if anything. So, switch to Ifrit. Oh, I lost it! Why is that? That's not how that should fucking be. Speaking of, we're about to talk about this dash. That should not be the way that is designed. That is so dumb design. Think about that for a second. You are literally losing damage if you don't use everything. This is okay. I'm okay with this. The whole losing your stacks if you run out of time. That makes sense. But the Astral Flow abilities, instead of being all of these 5 over here, all of these should be separate buttons. I think you should earn them, and they should have like a counter below or above. And that should be how many charges, a counter or like some pendant above. And that should be how many charges you have of the blessing. And then if you want to represent Enkindle, just have the eye glow. Obviously, I'm okay with Astral Flow being Rekindle and Death Flare. I'm okay with losing Rekindle if I summon Bahamut. But Rekindle shouldn't be limited to Phoenix, because it makes it so inconsequential when you use it, because you aren't going to use it that much. That is my opinion. And I think it's really stupid that it is the way it is right now. And I know there's people who are going to be like, well, wait, what if... Wait, Titans is different. Titans is the ass clap. Yes, I know. Hear me out on this one. You earn 4 when you hit Titan. And it comes up as a charge on a button right here, say. Actually, let's make it here just to be a little cheeky. How is that any different from the way it is right now? Now, yes, you would lose them if you summoned Bahamut or Phoenix. That would be fine. But, as it is right now, let's say... 5S is a perfect example because we're about to do it. You'll probably notice that I have a very hard time fitting in Ifrit's dash, because Ifrit's dash is very limited and it limits my movement. Every time it can come up, because you have to do Garuda first. You have to do Garuda first, even if the dots do not hit. I have practiced this multiple times. I've tested damage multiple times through different combinations. Starting Garuda first, even if you do not hit every single dot, that initial hit is so much more potent than the others, including the fact that the smaller hits hit very fucking fast. That initial hit is more potent than the beginning of Ifrit, no matter what GCDs you do first. It is more potent to swift cast a Ruby Right than anything else. By the way, I changed those fucking names. Ruby Right, Ruby Catastrophe. It's dumb. It's really dumb. I said I was going to stop before 15 minutes of the raid, but I still have shit to say. But finally, most of all, Most of fucking all. Okay, not just this isn't the only thing. I'm gonna say this. Then we're gonna stop talking about damage. We're gonna talk about damage overall. Then we're gonna talk about the biggest problem. And if you're looking at me right now, you probably already know what it is. So, if you die, you still get sent back to Bahamut. If you watched my clear last week, you noticed that my fucking rotation got so absolutely fucked by that death that happened randomly. We know the cause. I'm not going to go through it. It's not mine to talk about. But I just want you to think about that for a second. I lost so much damage from a single death being where it was that my damage wasn't even able to be comparable to a green parse. That is beyond punishing for a class that's already struggling with damage. That is so fucking punishing that it is beyond stupid. Anyway, before we get to the final point that I want to talk about, let's talk quickly about the damage between Summoner, Red Mage, and Black Mage. Black Mage right now is so immensely stronger than Red Mage and Summoner. I just have to question, what the fuck? Are these even the same jobs? These should not be all the same jobs as they are right now in terms of design. What is the caster role? Is the caster role high damage like Black Mage, just absolutely destroying it? Is it being able to move freely while also being able to do some light support here or there, like Summoner? Or is it another support role like Red Mage? Which is it? This cannot be overstated that the damage difference is so great that right now it does not feel like they're all in the same role. If you look at my damage compared to my Black Mages on a good run, he does immensely more than I do. I, as a shitty Black Mage, would still do more damage than my Summoner does on a good run. And that's not even to say what my Red Mage would do on a good run. That should not be how it is. That is abysmal. Whoever designed this, why? Give me back dots. Give me something. And most of all, okay, I want to stop here for a second. We're going to zoom in for a second, okay? Because I want to state something. What we're about to talk about requires me to hide my chat. But also be able to see it. Okay. You're going to see it briefly while I move it and zoom in. Okay. So let's see. If I summon right here, if I summon right here, you guys should be able to see. Should be able to see Titan. Let's see. I got a target. Alright, yeah, perfect. You guys can see Titan right there, right? So, you saw that it was just Titan. You see me, right? I'm a carbuncle. I love carbuncles. Carbuncles are the best. I have both the plushes. I have a carbuncle handkerchief. I have the carbuncle house. I have carbuncle everything. I even have both of the minions, but I'm not going to show them right now because I don't really have the time. And everybody tells me when I say this, just do this command. That's why I'm zooming in really close. You cannot glamour the 80 summons. You cannot. Absolutely not. And just for proof, slash pet glamour. I am pulling this up so I have a clip so I can just show this to people anytime they tell me just do pet glamour. It is not just Titan, by the way. It is Topaz Titan. Topaz Carbuncle. So, does this work? Let me. Do I need to say this again? Oh, maybe it doesn't work because whatever. No. Let me show you something else. All right, cool. Titan's now large. Let's see. Does this work? Here in like 30 seconds. Because if this works, this will prove my entire point and why I keep telling people that this is stupid. You get locked out of the glamour system for pets the instant you hit 90. Watch this. Do I need to say anything else? Stop telling me to use the pet glamour. Okay, we're good. We're good. Fit to screen. Once I fix this, I'm going BRB because I gotta pee again. Because going through transitioning does not. Just fucking. Ugh. Being trans is really fucked with my bladder. Alright, be right back and get some water and pee. Don't want to forget to change the. stop the recording part of the stream.